Jan, another Grand Slam comes to an end.
Yes.
This time in Paris. First time outside Weissenhaus. I mean, Singapore was there, but it was just 2 days. How is the feeling? I think it was a much bigger event than Weissenhaus.
Yeah, of course it feels that way. First of all, our playing hall is felt like 3 times bigger than the Weissenhaus big barn. It's already big, so we had a big space, but we have a huge space here. And Thorsten and his team have done an amazing job again to create this incredible atmosphere. Although it's a big hall, it feels like like a small familiar place, and also familiar with all of the decoration and so on. And so he created the perfect home for us in Paris, in this beautiful park. And so we created exactly what we wanted. The venue inside, like very familiar atmosphere, and then we are in Paris. We have the outside posts, like the Blitz Society, where we of course we're in the hotel. We have these different restaurants tonight. We have a closing dinner in a beautiful museum. We're going to have Ani Aronian singing, from Levon's wife. It's going to be a spectacular. We're going to have some VIPs there, and it's like it's the next step from Weissenhaus. And although we already thought it was fantastic in Weissenhaus, now it's even more fantastic, and we will go on like that for the next events.
Could you tell us a bit about what were the challenges that were faced here? I'm sure that in the start, with 2 players sort of backing out, it was not easy. And then, of course, everything that happened during the event, there must have been more challenges because Paris is such a big city. If you could share it with us, a bit of it.
Yes, of course. First of all, as you know me by now, I love challenges. I love change. I love challenges. I love new things. So whenever a challenge comes up, I'm nowhere like, oh my God, it's like big problem. I've said, okay, so challenge accepted. What do we do about it? So when we had these dropouts, immediately I just forget about the dropouts and I immediately look, what can we do? So for example, as the last minute, we asked Nodebek to come. 20 hours later, he was here. And he was doing even all the media days, so we had all the hero shots, everything. So for the public, it was not even visible that he was just coming in last minute. We gave him the new color code and so on. So it's like all perfect. And these are these challenges. I must say that I was not so much involved here in the setup process. This was really Thorsten's purview. And so I don't know exactly which challenges he had. But of course, one of the challenges that we faced was like yesterday, there was the Paris Marathon.
Oh, yes.
We had to kind of see how we get around. So we got some exceptions from the mayor's office to use certain roads for certain times. So we had to get everything together. This was also I experienced it as perfectly organized because I didn't have to organize it. I was on the receiving end kind of saying, okay, wow, okay, so you take the shuttle, you are here, you're walking this road now instead of that road. So that was fantastic. An additional challenge was, of course, always because we had this restaurant where we wanted to create a second familiar atmosphere like here, a little further away from the hotel so it was not so far away. It was only 20-minute ride, but with the Paris traffic, sometimes it took us an hour to get there, and we felt that was really unfortunate. But we couldn't change this also shorter because once we were there, we had beautiful, wonderful food. We had Michelin star food, which also we learned it's nice, but the players really want calories and so we are learning every time, and we will make it better next time as well if we are in Paris, but I already know that we'll be somewhere else in Europe next year.
You spoke about this Paris Marathon bit.
Yes.
Where you were being guided by the team, which means in a way that the freestyle team is developing and they are all working very hard.
Yes.
Could you tell us a bit about the team? And I think it's also solidifying.
Yes, it's solidifying. We are basically, the head of it is Thorsten, of course, Holly's father, who has an event agency, and he has done great events, big events in his past, BMW Sailing Cup, Extreme Sailing Series, so dealing with sailboats is much difficult than with chess boats, obviously. But also he did our wedding in Weissenhaus. He did the studio opening of Big Barn Studio. So Thorsten had a lot of experience, and so of course he did the first GOAT challenge in Weissenhaus last year. He of course did the Grand Slam in Weissenhaus. He also did all of the preparation in Singapore, which was the first time outside of of his home, or of our home here there in Germany. And there we faced a lot of challenges. We had a very difficult time with, first of all, that we had all this kind of, we were invited by FIDE, but then they disinvited us, and so it was all kind of an unclear situation why we are there, but we were there already, we had been invited. Then we were faced with a team that was not really very much helpful, it was very problematic, and so we said, okay, for this time with Paris, we don't go with local teams, we go with our team. So Torsten came with his whole team, we have like over 100 people coming here from Europe, we had team hotels and so on, because we wanted to guarantee a seamless setup and not being reliant on local teams, which we cannot really know how their performance is.
Wow, that's amazing. And as you said, you keep on learning on the go. And I think the next event that will happen in Las Vegas will have many new elements that you have learned from here. Could you share a bit about that?
We have. It turns out we have an amazing new concept, a tweaked concept. Of course, it's always the same. It's always freestyle. As Magnus just said in the interview, he doesn't really care as long as it's freestyle. And so we had started out with a discussion with Magnus when we said, okay, now we really would like to go into a more shorter format so that we are more suitable for linear television, because we are so successful now with our sponsor discussions, with our host cities, with the viewers and so on. And we see that these 4-hour games are not really suitable long term if we go into linear television. So we wanted to do like a careful discussion with Magnus, because we knew that it was really close to his heart to have a 90-minute and long-term game. But he was very open. He said, right away out the get-go, he said, the quality of the game has improved so much that we don't need all this time. So let's go with 45 minutes and 15 seconds. That's basically the new format of the long games. We are keeping the round robin. So that means that as we now have 2-hour games maximum, we can and will have the quarterfinal in 1 day and not in 2 days, the semifinal in 1 day, not in 2 days, and the final in 1 day, not in 2 days. That shortens the overall tournament from 8 to 5 days, which makes it also, again, more consumable for a mass audience, like around a weekend, and so we don't have like a full week to cover. And so with this, then we also now say, okay, we take this learning with the time controls, with the shorten of the tournaments. In addition, we take the learning of the last-minute dropouts, like Ali Reza was dropping out, Hans Niemann was dropping out. Like one was like 4 days before the event, one was 2 days before the event, and so we are now naming 2 reserve players that we are having a 13th and 14th colors. We have 14 colors altogether, color codes. We produce all the material for the players so that if something happens, we don't have to last minute ship something from Germany to Las Vegas or to ask players to come from anywhere on the continent. We will invite them, they will come, they will be with us, and we will have a 14-player tournament, 14-player roster, starting now again with the same round robin like before. So the 12 invited players will play the round robin, and then we will have on the quarterfinal day, when the 8 players move on to the quarterfinals, we have the remaining 4 that kind of fell out of the tournament at this point. We will have them joined by the 2 alternate players. So these 6 players will play out the 9th place, like in a round robin format, also that we don't play so long. And then the 9th place, the winner basically of this mini tournament on the quarterfinal day, will on the next day, on the semifinal day, will join the losers of the quarterfinals, the 4 losers. So the 5 players will now play for 5th place again. And so now that we have on the semifinal day, and on the final day, we have the winner of this mini tournament of the 5th place play with the losers of the semifinal, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They will play out the 3rd place. So now we have the chance that it's like a double round robin.
So someone who finished 12th can go all the way to 3rd?
To 3rd, exactly. Wow. And also the alternate players, they are not here for nothing. They join after the round robin, and they can also reach maximum 3rd. So it's like a double elimination without becoming first, which I always thought it's not a good concept. If you lose and then in the end you win the overall tournament, it's nothing that I think is really great. So that that we have everybody engaged. And the other thing that we addressed is that we had this big gap between the third place and the fourth place. First of all, that the top three are qualifying for the next tournament. So being third or fourth is very important for that reason. Also, the price gap is $40,000 between $60,000 and $100. So the third place is really important. So it's not like you are out of the quarterfinal and then you are not able to reach it. You can still win like fifth place, and then you are able to become third. So even if you are in the semi-final, you can still become fifth place.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So it's a completely new format.
Yes.
And I also heard that Garry Kasparov has been invited.
Yes.
Maybe if he joins, it would be epic.
I don't know. I mean, we had contact with him before, and I don't know if it really got through to him that we really would like to have him.
Because it was his birthday yesterday.
And exactly. We took the opportunity that it was his birthday yesterday that we extended the wild card, and because I also learned that it was his format. He likes the format. He came back out of retirement for it's called, I think in Singfield it's called
Chess 9LX.
9LX, yeah, for 60. So maybe he would like to join freestyle as well if he already joins that. And also with the new colors we are adding, you see all the colors we have right now. We are adding. You saw maybe that Nordierbeck, after the Weissenhaus tournament, he forgot his green jacket at home. So I brought a dark green jacket for last time. So he had a different green last time. And we are introducing now both greens. So next tournament, we're going to have the light green and the dark green. And the 14th color will be black. And that is reserved for Garry Kasparov.
Wow.
I think it's perfect. If you have Magnus in white, Garry Kasparov in black, that's kind of my vision of it. So if he ever accepts, this would be perfect. And
it would be like there are three players who are said like greatest of all times: Fischer, Magnus and Garry.
Yes.
So if Magnus and Garry both played, it would be incredible.
Yes, exactly. That is kind of our hope that he would accept. Would be also great in Las Vegas. Even if he doesn't want to play, we're happy to have him as a VIP, as a guest, just to chill with us, like as we had Levon here, Anish Giri we had here. So we have some players, even the players who are like Vidit, who are out of the tournament, they are still here. So we would like to have it more as a community for the players, so that they mingle with each other. And the next big thing in Las Vegas is we have live audience. Right? So we're going to have the players with noise-canceling headphones. We're going to have audience. We have a cheering crowd. We're going to have a lot of fun with the ticketing and the VIPs that also will be there. So it's going to be great.
Amazing. Jan, this freestyle chess, the way it is building up, is a very unique thing in the world of chess, because there are investors you are putting in. So everyone's very closely following whether it will remain sustainable or not. What is your feeling now that it is going? Could you share a bit about that with our viewers?
Yes. So my goal from the beginning has been that I want to create a sustainable business. Maybe the advantage is that I'm not coming out of the chess world, so I'm not kind of, in a way, having to kind of preserve certain chess ethics or whatever. I just look at it from a pure marketing perspective, from a consumer perspective, from a perspective of someone who would like to look at the show and would be interested. For example, one of our investors, Derrick Rose, the top basketball player, and he even mentioned on his stream, like, I couldn't believe that I watched this for 5 hours. So he was glued to the screen and watched the show for 5 hours. So, and if he does it, so many other, also we have some guests we just show around here. And for example, I had this one guest, and she was like, I said, okay, well, let's look at here. And she said, no, I really want to watch and continue watch because it's so exciting. So it's like, we see that we're on the right track. And then doing a sustainable business, of course, has to do first with funding and money. So, and although we had a lot of money going into chess, philanthropy, people who were like, but you're always depending on if this person really is continuously interested to do it. Maybe he loses interest, maybe he has some other ideas. So we want to create something that is running by itself. Even if I'm no longer there, or nobody of our team is no longer there, other people will carry on with it. And so we have raised, even to date, more than $20 million.
Really?
Yes. We are already past the $20 million. We are still taking in money until 1 week from now, April 21st. That's the final closing date. And we assume that we will not do any funding round after that. So we are taking this, we took this 20 million, and as you can calculate very easily, we paid Singapore, we paid Weissenhaus, we paid Paris, we'll pay Grenke and so on. So roughly we paid like 10 million, or just half of it basically, for all of the events on ourselves. But now moving on, we showed the host cities and the sponsors what we are about, and so we're getting more and more interest from sponsors and from host cities to cover the cost. So in the future we will cover maximum 50% of the event cost, maybe 25, maybe zero in the future. We are talking about multi-year deals with certain cities that we're going to go there. We have the sponsor money coming in. There's going to be the sponsors are coming in for 2026 because the budgets are made for Q3 for the next quarter. So we already have like a pipeline around $20 million that we are eyeing and can try to sign in Q3, so that we have a 20 million revenue in 2026 from sponsors and additional host cities. So that will have us break even, and so we are independent. We are not a startup who goes back to the investors and says, "Oh, we need more money," and it's all great. So we are independent and we are growing from there. And so that's kind of as the first step to sustainability. And once we are break even, we can build on top of that all kinds of additional businesses.
You mentioned when Left Lane Capital came in that 1 year you have to be there. You have to build this first year. I see you here. You are completely involved. You are working on it. Do you think that how is it going for you? Because you're not from chess. You didn't want to spend so much time in chess.
Yes.
Is it something that you are enjoying? Are you liking it?
Yes, I enjoy it very much, but it's also very tiring, I must say, since we decided to do the GOAT Challenge in 2024. So as of October 2023, so like 1.5 years, I've been in permanent execution mode and permanent just focus on this tournament and this, and it's a lot of money has been raised, a lot of money has been spent, and so for me, it's kind of I wanted to bring it to a certain point where I know that it is a great thing to kind of step a little bit back myself. So I'm putting more and more responsibility to Thomas, our COO, who is running it. So I will more and more retreat back in towards more like a board position. I'm already chairman of the board. So to more supervise, but I'm definitely taking care of personal responsibility of the South African tournament because that's close to our home at the end of the year. We are visiting now potential host cities for September. Very interesting to see. We have a very interesting developments going on there. Might be an announcement like in the first week of May. We already announced Las Vegas as the next event. So we have done this beautiful deal with the Wynn Hotel Group. So we're going to be at the Wynn Hotel Group. And so, of course, Las Vegas, we're going to fly to Las Vegas in 2 weeks to kind of set up, because this tournament in 3 months is already over. The next term it goes so fast. But yeah, so I'm enjoying it. But on the other hand, I have a clear eye on kind of handing this, the whole operation to Thomas so that it is in good operational hands, so that I just turned 60 last year. I don't want to do this all of my 60s, 70s. So, but I'm still, I'm still be there engaged. Of course, I'm owner of a big chunk of the company, so I have a vital interest, and I'm also chairman of the board. So I will not go away. I will still keep all the players' contacts. I will still be that. But like the pure operational execution role will be more and more with Thomas over time.
And you spoke about the board. I met someone today, John, who is now a member of the board.
Yes.
And he, when I searched about him, he's one of the best lawyers in the world.
Yes.
So like the board, can you tell us a bit about the Freestyle board?
Yes. So obviously, as I said about the management, a CEO position, myself, and then chief operating position like Thomas, and then chief chess officer is Sebastian, and we have like all the team beyond that. In addition, that of course we have the controlling board, like the representatives of the owners, of the investors, and of the chunk of the company. So we have a 5-person board, which is consisting of the Left Lane investor, because they have been our initial investors, so they have 2 board seats. Then we have Henrik Carlsen, of course, and myself. And as an independent board member, we won my very dear friend John Quinn. John Quinn Emmanuel, you can look it up. It's officially most feared law
Yes.
firm in the world. Litigation, they have like 1,300 lawyers, like billions of revenue and like 35 offices all over the world. It's insane. He is very successful. He has represented incredible clients, like all the top people of the world. And he happens to be my friend because he was also representing me in a big case like 25 years ago. And we have been very good friends. And so he agreed to be on our board, which is very good. Also, if we might have some legal issues with some people, you never know. So then we have good representation. And also it's good like to have an independent voice. And he's very big in LA. He lives in LA, Hollywood scene and so on. So it's all very good. So he's here. He was in Weissenhaus. He's here now for this today. And we're going to have him join dinner tonight as well.
Wow. It's amazing how different people are coming in together, like the NBA stars you mentioned now, the top lawyers in the world. So actually the freestyle chess is bringing together a lot of different entities.
Yes. That's also an additional plan because like if I look at the long-term plan, starting today, if you talk to people about who is attending chess tournaments, the clear answer is chess players. If you like say, okay, who is attending Formula One races? The clear answer is race drivers. Kidding. Yeah? So it's a joke, right? No, the clear answer is everybody, right? And so I want chess, like in 5 to 10 years, be the same. Like if you basically, who's attending chess tournaments? Is it chess players? No, it's everybody, right? Of course, maybe there are chess players, but you know, in the end, so that is our goal. And so there we need to get out of the chess bubble. Although the chess bubble is important and good and big, and we have like you, and we have chess.com, and we have all these players and so on. But in the end, the rest of the world doesn't really know. I mean, most people don't even know who Magnus Carlsen is, and although he's like the biggest star. So we need to address more fans of other sports, and that's also one way. So we are addressing the fans, like I think Derrick Rose has even 3 times more fans than Magnus, like online. Then we have Gerard Piqué, you know, the soccer player. He's also an investor. So we get the fans of Gerard interested, the fans of Derrick Rose interested. By that, for example, in Las Vegas, before the next tournament, we do something together with Derrick Rose called the Chestival, where we bring together, like hand in hand, the top basketball players and the top chess players. So Derrick Rose is inviting like very active, very young, very top stars, great names you will see. They will do for charity, get together with Magnus and some other chess players on the 11th and 12th of July, play hand in hand, so that we integrate more. Maybe there are some more basketball players that will bring their fans from their other people. So it's like expanding it through the players and through their fans into other target groups of the population.
Brilliant. Finally, I want to ask you last question that John mentioned that the reason why he's here in freestyle is because he trusts your business sense. He really admires it.
Well, I've known Jan Buettner for over 20 years, and I just think he's an amazing entrepreneur, and he has such great business instincts, and he's so enthusiastic about this project, and everything he touches turns out beautifully. So when I heard about it, I thought, yes, I would very much like to be a part of this really interesting project.
That's very interesting. Have you worked with him before on a previous project that was there?
Well, I've worked with him, I'm a litigation lawyer. I'm a disputes lawyer, and I've represented him before in some people who he had some issues with. And so I've represented him in a couple of cases before, but that's all. He's a friend.
And so, just through your business sense, how big do you think freestyle chess can become? What do you see as the future?
As I started out saying, and I'm still continuing to say, it's the Formula One of chess. And what I mean is basically that we apply the Formula One success model to this. So building all kinds of content, all kinds of, all the drama, all the players, all the individual stars, so putting them in the forefront to attract more and more fans so that they know why they're watching it and are interested to see what is happening. And on the inside, you have a closed circle where you have, like a money can't buy experience, like for VIPs, for top level people to get together, and then to have this experience for people who are willing and able to pay a lot of money for it, but also for the fans, like similar to Formula One, you can't really drive in a car of a Formula One car, but yes, you can be in the helmet and this and like look drive with the player here. You can be like with the little camera. You can see into the eyes of the opponent. Even better than if you're here in the hall, because you can't just go to the chess and say, "Hey Shaka, how is it? How are you thinking?" So we have this camera. So all of this together, meaning like I can only speak in like of value sense, you know. So kind of we have built this company. And we are looking at a 10 to 100x of valuation. So that also means that our numbers should be like 10 to 100x. So that's kind of the growth that I'm seeing.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jan, for sharing this, and I wish you good luck for Las Vegas.
Thank you very much, Sagar.